The hubs is fixing the hydraulics on the John Deere and giving it kind of a wash. I'm just trying to stay out of his way. But yeah, it's been an interesting week here at C&B. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am Sarah. I'm a middle-aged salty old clam with an urban farm in the suburb of Minneapolis. I have now 4 chickens. As of 8 days ago, I had 1. We purchased 3 new girls to add back to our flock after we had 3 pass away over the course of 6 months due to old age and undiagnosed sickness. So I'm here to talk to you guys today about if you have chickens and you want to get more chickens, some tips on how to integrate the old and the new chickens together.
The tractor is about to interrupt your photo shoot.
Yeah, he's gonna go park that thing. Looks like he's done. So the thing about chickens is that they truly do have personalities. And even though chickens might be friendly, they're not always friendly towards each other. And the term pecking order is established with how chickens behave with one another. Chickens can be aggressive towards each other. Ow! What are you doing, Pot? I think she's mad that I don't have treats. See? Pot's actually a really nice chicken. She just thinks my freshly painted toes are worms. So when you get chickens, and if you get them as chicks, or if you get a cluster of chickens from the same farm, usually they know each other and there's already been a pecking order established and things are cool for the most part. It doesn't mean that you won't have tussles from time to time, where one chicken kind of seems to be the dominant one and kind of bosses everybody around, and there's the submissive ones. And you let that go. Honestly, that is how nature works. You cannot discipline a chicken. Human interference really doesn't do anything. In fact, it probably just seems to make it worse. So it's very difficult when you have existing chickens and you add new chickens to the flocks, to give a lot of supervision and try to make it as friendly as an experience as possible. So we got our original 3 in 2021 just because our kids were super lonely. There's a lot of restrictions with COVID. And, we used to be in a neighborhood where everybody kind of played in everybody's yard, and then kind of COVID changed the whole dynamic of the neighborhood, and then everybody was kind of like sequestered, and the kids were very bored. So we got chickens so they could be outside and have a new pet. Also at the same time, our dog Peterbilt passed away, so we were petless. So the chickens kind of helped fill that void, and we really loved girls from the start. And the 3 that we got were from a farm. They were cool with each other for the most part. It was pot pie, Parmesan, and noodle. Very few issues with them. Then came about a year later, and we did a job for a client with the tractor who had just 1 chicken left, and they were looking to kind of just be done with chicken farming. And we named her Barbecue. Yes, all our chickens are named after food for the most part. And we took her back to our house. Now, we had heard that you got to kind of slowly integrate, chickens and things like that. But it really didn't. We had some bumps in the road with Barb. And I think that was because it was 1 chicken being introduced to 3 established ones. Hey.
When I came out, she came running to me.
Yeah, she was pecking my toes. So we learned a lot from that experience. Eventually, the girls did calm down and get along. So eventually Barb actually was the first to pass. We think she was an older chicken. I never really quite could confirm that she was laying eggs, which tells me that she was of advanced age. And then the other Noodle and then Parmesan ended up passing away too. And then over the winter we just had 1 chicken, and we didn't really want to introduce any young chickens with Minnesota winters. It could be very harsh. Granted, we had like the warmest winter ever this year in 23-24. But still, we just wanted to hold off just because weather is very unpredictable. So a week ago, we went to a feed store in Anoka that actually had young adult hens for sale, which is what we wanted. And so it was kind of introducing 3 to 1 old one. And we kind of had a really good feeling about this dynamic because Pot Pie is the established hen. The other 3 are young, but it's kind of 3 against 1 again. And fortunately, this time, it actually worked out really well. Take a look at some of this footage. There was some ruffled feathers there for a little bit, which is completely understandable. But for the most part, everybody gets along. Yeah, there's still a little bit of a hierarchy being worked out, but take a look. And this is Char, and she's the baby. I think she's still growing. Either that or she's going to be a small breed. She's a sapphire Easter egger. She's the one that kind of gets picked on the most. And I think that's just due to size, but she's very sweet. She makes the funniest noises. And it seems that Buffalo, which is who is on the right, is trying to figure out if she's the dominant chicken or if Pot Pie, the chicken that's black on the left, is. And they both kind of seem to be two dominant chickens.
What? Fine.
So sometimes Pot chases Buffalo down, and sometimes Buffalo chases Pot Pie down. But it's so far nobody's really been injured, and that's something you got to watch for. So if you are introducing new chickens, it's best to kind of have them outside together if you can, just because if you close off animals that are not really necessarily cool with each other in an enclosed space, that can heighten tensions and you know, start a fight. We put ours in the cage of the run just to kind of let Popeye see them, but then we kind of felt that the situation was calm enough where we could let them explore outside on their own. Some people keep their new chickens in cages for like a week, and they let the other new chickens kind of like, you know, look through the bars or kind of get a good look at them. And, you know, the good thing about chickens is that they don't really have very much for long-term memory. So after about a week, some people let the chickens kind of meld together and see what happens. Especially with, like, if you're introducing chicks to adult hens, you really want to keep them separate until they are established adults, just because hens can pick on chicks too and sometimes kill them. Right now, what we are trying to do is work on the chickens becoming more used to us. Popeye has always been the chicken to come running if we shake a bucket full of chicken scratch. And oh, there we go. Yep, see, you see she kind of picks on Bean too a little bit. And that's how it is. But anyways, we're trying to get the new girls used to relating us to food, because that is how they're going to be friendly and not be terrified of us. They're never going to enjoy being picked up or petted, and that's fine. Half the time they poop on you anyways. But it's more of just having them not fear us. And this is the formative time. So we've been out here quite a bit with all sorts of treats. I just gave them some leftover breakfast sausage and some whole grain toast earlier. They really love that, especially the new girls. And now they're enjoying some scratch. Things you should look for if you are integrating new chickens to old chickens is look for signs of injury. They will pull out feathers sometimes. Sometimes they will attack each other's combs, eyes. And if that happens, you're really going to have to isolate the injured chicken and try to give it some first aid until it heals. And that's a lot of work sometimes. And some people choose just not to, and they let the chickens work it out themselves. That's kind of more of an established chicken farm that happens. If you're a homeowner and an urban farmer like me, these chickens are more like pets, so you're going to want to keep a closer eye on them. Hey, sweetheart. I don't have anything in my hand. Look at how little her feet are. That's why I think that she has to grow.
Can I get some scratch too? Oh, guys, I got the scratch over there. I was just letting Char get some. Bruh. You had the other one.
Bean likes to pick on Char. So they're like, Popeye picks on Bean, Bean picks on Char.
Buffalo's wherever.
And that's not a constant thing either, too. It's just sometimes they get in a bad mood and they just decide to have at the other chicken.
Char, the baby, she doesn't even get to sleep on the perch at night.
Yeah.
We put a security camera in the chicken coop. Yep. We've hit that stage. So we have cameras inside the coop. We watch them at night. You got Buffalo Wild Wing, Bean, and then Popeye's over in this corner. And Char is reduced to, sleeping on the floor of the coop.
Right, and she doesn't really seem to mind it a whole lot. There's totally room on the perch. She just hasn't earned it yet. And dynamics change all the time.
She can fly. Like, I saw her flying to the skid steer. She does know how to fly, but I just think the girls aren't ready, or they think she's too small.
Yeah, that could probably be it
pick
too.
on her the easiest.
Yeah, animals are kind of jerks like that sometimes.
I don't call chickens jerks.
I do.
They're not the smartest animal here, unlike a dolphin, but they're still pretty smart for a chicken.
They're as smart as they need to be. Pretty happy with how the transition went. It was the easiest I've ever seen. And we're just happy to have 4 chickens again. I don't think we're gonna get any more just because we would have to probably enlarge our coop and run, and we are limited by the city to 4 hens. So we're probably just gonna have 4 for now. And with chickens, you always, or if you're gonna free range them at least, you're gonna have to expect that they might get picked off by a predator, they might get sick, they might get lost. We've never had any of that happen with predators or chickens getting lost. Well, there was one time, but
Well, we found her.
yeah, we did. One chicken ended up sitting under the rototiller for 4 days. We'll talk
And
about that.
Parm.
Yeah.
They're 2 stories.
Yeah. All right. So anyways, we haven't had any, although we do have eagles, hawks, a lot of aerial predators. We have coyotes, fox, neighborhood dogs. We've got a whole long list of things that would love to eat a piece of chicken. Fortunately, in the 3 years we've had chickens, that hasn't happened yet. We're just getting into spring here at the C&B farm. If you guys like what you see and hear, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, because there's always something going on or going wrong.
Or going wrong.
Or going wrong
Or going
at our house.
wrong.
Bye, guys.